Hey, everybody. Randy Patterson here with Boomerocity. And gosh, every time I talk to this lady, I just come away just jonesing because I love the work that she does. I love how she's keeping the legacy and memory of her late brother alive. And all of that just makes me and all the rest of her brother's fans quite happy. And of course, I'm talking about Janie Hendrix, the sister, baby sister, if you will, of the late great Jimi Hendrix. And man, you know, we still rock out to the guy, don't we? And Janie has done a phenomenal job making the Jimi Hendrix estate and legacy one of the most successful in the rock world today. And that comes from shrewd business. And I always love what she does. I mean, she's doing an amazing job keeping Jimi in the spotlight, keeping fans happy with new releases and remasters and things of that nature. And this latest project fits right in there. And boy, it's a big one too. It's called Electric Lady Studios, a Jimi Hendrix Vision. And I got to see a lot of the documentary that's a part of this, as well as listen to all of the audio, the CD set that you can get, or you can get the albums too. But man, what a fantastic package. So if you're a huge Jimi Hendrix fan, you're definitely going to want this package. It is available out wherever you get your physical copies at. And I encourage you to do that instead of listening to streaming. Get the real thing. Support our artists. Support even their estates, because they're doing a fantastic job keeping the memory alive and releasing new product that we all love and enjoy. So without any further ado, here is my third interview with the great Janie Hendrix. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care. Well, it's good to see you again. It's been a couple of years. Yep.
It has.
I thought maybe it was something I said or something. I don't know. So
Not at all. I'm always here for you, Randy. No worries.
I appreciate that. And hey, before we get into the latest project, I wanted to ask you a couple of things. How did the Hollywood Bowl release do for you, for the estate, man? I love the cuts I heard from it, and I was just curious, how well is it done for you?
It did well. It's still doing well. So thank you. And everyone's excited about Electric Lady Studios, the Jimi Hendrix Vision. We actually are on tour right now, so it's been selling on our tour a little bit before the actual drop date. So people are loving it.
Oh, cool. When you say the tour, you mean the Experience Hendrix tour?
Yes.
I didn't realize you were traveling with them on that.
Always. Is there
Really?
another tour? Is there another tour that's more important than this one? What?
Well, I didn't realize you traveled with them. I think I interviewed Eric Johnson and Kenny Wayne pretty close to each other a few weeks ago. And I know I'm in East Tennessee, so I know you're coming. I know you're hitting Nashville.
Yes.
My father is now in cognitive decline, and I'm his caregiver, so I have to plan way ahead on things. But if I can catch one of those shows, I'd love to come up and say hi and hug your neck, and we can meet each other in person that way. So,
well, just let me know. Text me, let me know, or email me, and I'll make sure you're on the list.
Oh, I appreciate that. One more thing, last time I think it was you and I talked, I know for sure the time before, and and I'm not saying this to patronize you, Jamie. I think we don't know each other very well, but I think you've seen my actions and such. But I'm a bit flummoxed by the attacks you undergo from people, and I don't understand it, because here we are, almost 50 years after Elvis's death, and there's always something new coming out on that. There's going to be stuff coming out with Prince. All the late artists, the estates are still marketing the legacy, and I don't see a thing wrong with it, but I'm just curious, why do you think you come under fire so much on that? Because I don't think, the things they have said about you, they could have said the same thing about Priscilla Presley or Lisa Marie before she passed. The family of any late rock star, it seems like you get an inordinate amount of hostile fire from alleged fans of your late brother. What do you chalk that up to?
Well, first of all, I learned a long time ago, I never try to figure out why people do or say anything that they do or say. Secondly, years ago when my dad was still alive, he used to say, when I'd say, "Oh my God, this person's saying this or that," he goes, "Stop reading it because I put you in charge, and that's what you're to do, and you're doing a wonderful job." At 6 years old, I made a promise to Jimmy that I would take care of him after he promised me he would take care of me. I feel like we are still doing that decades later. And I also made a promise to my dad that when he was passing away, and I'm again sorry to hear about your dad. It's a hard road to go down.
Yeah.
But when he was like the last week of his before he passed away, he said, "I'm passing the baton on to you. It's your fight now." And so,
Thanks,
I feel
Dad.
like thanks, Dad. There were some fights I had no idea that he was actually fighting and fending off because he was doing such a great job that I wasn't feeling it. But I don't read the negativity. I really don't, because to me it's about Jimmy's music.
Mhm,
I'm fulfilling a promise that we made, and he wanted people to hear his music, and
mhm.
so that is exactly what we're doing.
Well, I think the results, and it depends on where you read the numbers from, but the rankings of late rock stars estates. I mean, Jimmy's is right up there, and I think that's a testament to your work. It shows that there's plenty of us fans who agree with what you're doing, and it's why I wanted to talk to you, because you've always done a great job. I think you treat fans well. I mean, you treat me well whenever we talk, but I know with what you do for the fans, that's what matters. I know that's what mattered to your brother, and so I think the success of the estate speaks volumes, and I'm thrilled for you on that. So
Thank
congratulations
you.
on that.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Tell fans about this latest offering that you have coming out. I've got to catch a lot of it. I've listened to the entire streaming, through Bob Merlis and the label. I haven't got to see much of the documentary itself. I got some clips of it, but tell fans what this is all about, the story behind it, and how it all came together.
Well, I mean, Jimmy was super excited about building Electric Lady Studios, and on his last visit to Seattle prior to going to Hawaii, he just couldn't wait until the family could get to New York and see a studio. It was really his baby. It was something that he felt like, not only was it his vision, but he birthed it, and he was going to make it into really his sanctuary.
Mhm.
And so Electric Lady Studios has thrived. It has survived. It is the home for a lot of musicians, even today, where they are able to go in and record and feel Jimmy's vibe. A lot of them have their own studios at home, but they want to bring in all of their equipment. And like John Mayer's one example of that. Of
Mhm.
course, Beyonce, Jay-Z, D'Angelo's in there for a year once. I do remember that because we were actually working in one of his studios when he was there. It's just about, the spirit of Jimmy being in that studio. And so the project really was about that, to just show how this nightclub became what it is today, this beautiful studio, and has lasted the decades, and the sound that you get. Um, then some of the recordings that Jimmy did, Electric Lady Studios, and then there's some alternate tracks that we also included in the box sets, because I think that true fans really do like to hear the different versions of various songs.
Mhm. I agree. It's, well, we hear it on the Elvis channel all the time, right? I'm an Elvis fan, so you hear all the outtakes and the conversations, and like you said, true fans love that stuff. We eat it up. What do you I mean, you had a lot of great participation as far as people commenting and contributing their thoughts to it. I mean, it had to be an onerous task to get it all together. Tell me how that all came about for you.
Well, just reaching out to people. I mean, a lot of things we already had in the can, because obviously a lot of the people aren't here anymore that
Right.
are appearing in the documentary: Mitch Mitchell and Chaz Chandler and Jerry Stickles. And so, you have them talking about their experience and um, kind of their memories. And we have the architects and the people that were Jimmy's managers, and some of them aren't alive anymore either. So we were able, when we worked on other projects, we recorded them knowing that eventually we were going to do this project so that we would have all of that information, housed and ready. So it's not just for this project. Like a lot of times we are recording various people, interviewing them for other projects that are up and coming as well.
Cool. Were there any surprises? I mean, I know you and John McDermott's done a lot of work together, and there's probably, I would imagine for some of us outside looking in, we might think, what other surprises could there be? But I would have to imagine must have been something come up that you go, wow, I hadn't heard that before. I didn't know about this.
Well, there are a lot of stories that people had to tell, a lot of their experiences and what was happening. I don't know, like so much if there was, um, oh wow, I didn't know that. Just their endearing stories. Like I knew that Jimmy shopped at Colette's store. It was surprising to hear that the Woodstock jacket actually came from her store because I didn't
Ah,
know where exactly he got that. And the fact that I knew he went to Morocco. I didn't know he actually went with Colette. And so, there's like all these little tidbits and little nuggets of stories that people had to tell. When Faye Pridgeon was alive, I got to sit down with her and talk about a lot of things that did not make it on the documentary, and will just in my ears and in my heart. I'm not going to repeat what she said, but those are the kind of the funny anecdotes and situations and places that they found themselves in, and things that they experienced in life.
does from a well, I want to go back to something you said a few minutes ago, and that was, people talk about like to come in there and record. I know I've in a lot of the artists I've talked to who've recorded at, say, Muscle Shoals, or like especially the Fame Studio or Abbey Road, all these iconic studios, and they talk about the vibe, the spirit that you feel there, that there's definitely, I call it almost like a spiritual patina or something that people, and I think it would have to be musicians feel it more than a non-musician like me might feel. But have you gotten a lot of comments about people sensing that when they've recorded there?
Yes, I mean, you walk in the door and you feel it. And I think it's really about having a spirit of being an empath, when you can feel that. I don't know if it's always musicians or if it's a particular type of person, but definitely artists do feel it. When you're in Studio A, there's been some crazy things that have happened where kind of like Jimmy lets you know, I'm still here. So
Yeah,
doors open, lights flicker. I don't know. There's some
really?
strange
Wow.
things that have happened. Yes, definitely.
What a two-part question. What was your biggest takeaway after this? You got the project all done, the documentary, the recordings. What was your biggest takeaway, and what do you hope fans take away from this project?
I mean, I guess my biggest takeaway is that when you have a dream or a vision, follow it, pursue it, do everything possible. Sometimes doors might shut, but another door will open. And I really feel like that is what Jimmy's life was about. He never stopped fulfilling his dream and pursuing his visions. And Electric Lady Studios was definitely part of his vision, was to create this amazing studio where not only he could go in and lay down tracks and maybe take a nap and wake back up and lay down more tracks and be inspired, but it has gone on to inspire so many and other artists, because for him at that time, he was the first Black artist to ever come up with his own studio and have his own studio. And it wasn't just for him. I mean, he was creating it, yes, for his personal use, but also for others.
Mhm.
And so to see it still as vivacious as it still is, and people are still wanting to go there and feel that vibe and lay down their tracks, and and say, yes, I recorded there. A few years back, I met Miley Cyrus, and she's like, I recorded my whole album at Electric Lady Studios. It was magical. I loved it. And that's really what you hear from so many people that have been in there. And when we threw the party for the viewing of the documentary, a lot of people, that was like on their bucket list. I want to go into Electric Lady Studios. I want to see it. I want to feel it. I want to, just absorb the energy. And so it's that too. Um, it's really the heart of Greenwich Village, and that's kind of where Jimmy's stomping grounds were at that time. Um, it's really, I really do hope that we did a temporary sign for Jimmy, street sign, and I hope that at some point New York City will allow it to be a permanent sign.
Oh,
That would be a wonderful kind of icing on the cake.
Yes, it would. What talking about all this, I didn't write this down, but the question pops in my mind of the studios are the studios something that casual fans can pay to tour, or are there tours, or oh, you got to be a
No.
recording artist? Okay.
Yeah, or you got to know someone. Or like for events, when there are events, they have limited people that can come in, but no, it's not a place where people can just stop in and walk around like it's Universal Cities or studios or anything. No, it's actually people that are working there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wondered because I mean, Sun Studios can sometimes be the same way, but I was when preparing for this interview, Janie, I saw something. I part of what I read, I had already had read years ago that before your brother died, he was planning on kind of shifting genre gears, so to speak, and getting away from the blues psychedelic type thing. And but I in one interview I was reading, I caught something I hadn't read before, or if I did, it slipped my feeble mind. But I saw where you said that he was talking about collaborating with the band Chicago, and I was blown away by that. And I just, I mean, my mind started racing with it. I thought I had to ask you, what are the thoughts of maybe getting Chicago to rearrange and re-record some of that in this? I mean, I realize it's not what Jimmy had in mind, but I think something like that would just be freaking awesome.
Well, they are still huge fans, but no, really, so the last time Jimmy was in Seattle, he said that, Dad, I'm going to make you doubly proud. And my dad said, I can't be more prouder than I am of you now. And he said, no, like I'm working on this new kind of sound and with like horns and strings. And so you think about it, like Chicago was opening for him, kind of in that time period. And then oddly enough, in 1971, after Jimmy passed, you have Earth, Wind and Fire that comes with that, a lot of percussion and the strings. And Jimmy was trying to play around a little bit with that at Woodstock, trying to add some congos and some other tones. So really he was looking at, I wouldn't say necessarily getting away from the psychedelic or the rock, but his sound was so unique. It was a collaboration of many genres of music. And we just call it the Hendrix sound because there's really no stamp of a particular title of type of music it is.
Yeah.
But he was definitely looking at expanding from a 3-piece band to a much larger a band to make a larger sound, a bigger sound.
Well, I could see with how Terry Kath was at the time that, I mean, to even just imagine those two, you know, playing off of each other or something. I mean, that whole thing, when I read that, I started jonesing about it because I just thought, man, that would have been one for the history books for sure. But shifting gears in one more area, I know you've got to run here shortly, but with all these, I wanted to get your thoughts on, panning back a little bit about the music business in general. We're hearing a lot about catalog buyouts and the impact of AI and all that stuff. I mean, I should know this, but the estate doesn't own the actual sound catalog, do they? Just own the masters, right?
We own our masters.
Mm-hmm.
We license with Sony.
Mm-hmm.
My dad never wanted to sell. I mean, because we never knew we had lost the rights at one point when we did. But as far as AI goes, we're, AI is very tricky. Our lawyers are very protective about that because just like when somebody samples your music, you kind of lose some of your rights in doing that, or you're sharing your rights with someone else. So we do own our masters 100%, and we own 100% of our catalogs. We basically are, Sony is our distributor. They do not own our music, nor do they control it. They don't tell us what to do. So that's where we stand with that.
Well, cool. I know when I was talking with Lucy Arnaz a couple months ago, I asked her the same thing, and she's just like, she goes, that's just essentially not exact word, but that's kind of a bucking bronco that's hard to stay on to, because I mean, we don't know where this is all going to go. And I suspect with these catalog buyouts and AI happening at the same time, I just kind of wonder what future generations are going to wind up seeing after we're gone. It'll be interesting. But
Hard to say, but I do understand completely what you're saying, and I think she's absolutely correct.
yeah, well, Janie, I know you got a lot to do. I wanted to talk to you about this project. I will see if I can make it to one of the shows. I'll shoot you a note, and I'll let you
Yeah,
through Bob and directly. I still have your email address, but
yeah,
I'll shoot you a note to let you know when this all posts. And
okay.
gosh, again, thanks for everything. Thanks for doing such a great job with the estate, man. You're
Oh,
rocking
thank
it.
you.
And please stay safe. And please let me know if there's anything I can ever do in my little part of the world here to help move things along for you. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Randy. I look forward to seeing you in Nashville. If you can, please come out. And again, my heart and prayers go to you and your family.
Oh, well,
It,
thank you
it's
very
tough
much.
when your dad is getting older, and it's kind of the circle of life, but it's still
Yeah.
keep making all those memories.
Oh, yeah. Doing it. And, I feel like I'm parenting my parent now, but I'm glad I get to do it. Not
Yes,
everybody gets to, and I get
we
to, and I'm proud to.
we owe them that much. Yes,
At
absolutely.
least that. Absolutely. Janie, stay safe and let's talk again soon. Okay.
Okay. Thanks,
All right.
Randy.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye bye.